Hey, folks, welcome to Market Intraday Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. This video for Thursday, May 31st, 2012, is sponsored by Realtic. All right, guys, right into the mix here. We have a nice little reversal being staged on the markets. Again, take a look. Early in the day, the markets were getting crushed as the dollar was surging higher one more time. And then all of a sudden, we saw the dollar start to stall and fall. The markets reversing back to the upside. I predicted this move this morning. When we were trading here at the lows of the day, I had a feeling this would happen. I gave it to my members in the intraday stock chat and on Traders Life 24/7, which is part of the Research Center in intraday stock chat. It's a social forum where we can post. And I told them, frankly, I said, listen, JP Morgan is the name of the game here. This financial stock, among other financials, has been essentially positive all day, not selling off. And you can see it right here. Here's where it closed yesterday. And all day long, even when the market was selling, it was not breaking down. And that's a leading indicator because the financials are intricately woven to what's going on in Europe through derivatives and through other problems with the banks in Europe. If the banks here in the US are not seeing major selling, look for a possible rally in the markets. Sure enough, what happened? All of a sudden, the markets caught a massive bid right around 11:30 a.m., surging up, going positive, and now hovering just slightly down on the day, down 27 cents on the SPY. I ultimately think over the next week or so we'll continue to inch up a little bit. I've positioned myself as such, as my members know. And again, if you want to get my live trades, take the Research Center 7-day free trial. All my swing trades are posted in there. If you want day trades, take the 7-day free trial to the intraday stock chat. You'll get all my day trades there. All right, and again, live analysis, proprietary analysis. We'll teach you how to do this proprietary analysis. That's what it's there for. That's what we're here for to do. Bottom line is this. Markets right now are trading mixed. You have the Dow flat. S&P is down a couple points. NASDAQ is down 13 points on the day. And as I look across the markets here, it's going to be a very intriguing end of the day close. Are you going to see the markets reverse and close near the highs of the day, or possibly sell back off and close near the lows of the day? Wherever we close today should be a dictator for tomorrow. Remember, non-farm payrolls come out tomorrow. Europe is still going to be the number one, but non-farm payrolls will be a close number two, and that will dictate the market action in tomorrow's session. Okay? Volume is okay today. It's not bad at all, although it is declining. As we get towards the end of the day, you probably see a little bit more declining volume, as again, most eyes are now watching Europe tomorrow, or tonight for us, but tomorrow in Europe, and then also that non-farm payrolls number. All right, let's take a look at a couple other stocks out there that are making moves. Number one, we have to look at Facebook, which is again kind of ad nauseum being talked about. But the one thing I want to just point out to you guys, there's a possible short-term bottom on Facebook being put in on the charts. All right, take a line right there. As long as Facebook does not break 2685.80 area, which essentially is the low of the day, this could be a reversal. Now, we haven't seen a reversal in a long time on Facebook, but this could be the day. And again, essentially what you want to see is you want to see Facebook reverse all the losses today and close near the flat line or positive. It hasn't really closed strong ever since it opened. Every day, especially late in the day, it sees selling. Well, today it's just broken above the 20 moving average here. This is a determining factor line right here. And again, if you were to take this trade right now at 27 and a quarter, your stop would be any closing candle on a 10-minute basis that closes below the trend line I just drew in here at 2680, we'll call it. So a very nice tight stop there with upside possible easily to the 50 moving average at around 27.60. And then if you get through that, you could be headed for the highs of the day all the way up here, which again would be a huge, huge reversal. We'd see a move all the way above 28.50 there. I don't think that's very likely today. That would be a one hell of a reversal. But it is possible if we are seeing a little reversal, it starts by going up here to the 50 and closing around the 50 moving average on the charts. All right. I will keep an eye on this for my members and keep them updated, and we will continue to watch very, very closely. JP Morgan I talked about. We obviously see what JP Morgan is doing today. Even though the market's rallied, JP Morgan hasn't really. But again, JP Morgan I utilized this morning as a leading indicator. That told us the rally was going to come. Sure enough, it did come very nicely. And if we go to the daily chart, you can see JP Morgan has just been smoked. Since 2012, it had that big run, and then a basically negation of the entire move. If we draw a trend line right here, I mean, you can clearly see you've erased all the gains from 2012 this year back to about $33 a share on JPM. All right, Goldman is up on the day. Chevron is up slightly. Great reversal on Chevron. Chevron's been getting crushed. I love to look at the Chevron chart, and I showed you guys this yesterday and the day before as well. You had a gap fill right here, two major trend lines. Notice how you came down, made a bottoming tail and popped, and then you retraced to a double bottom, popped again. That's a major level on Chevron. If this level eventually breaks, which it will eventually, but probably not in the short term, this is going to be your target for the next swing trade on Chevron, CVX. This is the next big level right there. Okay. Let me just scan through and see if there's anything else popping up. Looking across the board. Let's see here. No, I mean, for the most part, I mean, I'm just looking through. Apple's trading down a buck 45. That's nothing there on Apple. Amazon's actually up almost $3. Google's down about 7.5, a little bit weaker there. Microsoft's down slightly, Intel's down slightly, IBM is down slightly as well. I mean, again, the markets are just hovering slightly negative on the day. So right now, again, the big question is going to be what's that jobs number tomorrow, and ultimately where does this market close? The market has a tendency to sell off towards the end of the day. We've had a good reversal thus far. Can it hold it? All right, can it hold the reversal? All right, again, the big stocks that I'm watching on the long side, I think Facebook is close to a reversal. Going to watch where it closes today. I know a lot of people are bearish on that. That actually makes me more bullish as a contrarian, and that's how I made a living, guys. That's how I made my millions. But bottom line is, let me just scan through here. First Solar's taking a little bit of a beating today. Nice drop on FSLR. Last day of the month, in my opinion, you have a lot of funds just finally dumping out at the end of the month, so it's not in their portfolio. Could actually be a nice buying opportunity today into tomorrow for a little bit of a early month bounce tomorrow, starting the new month of June. So that'll be something I look for as well. Let me just see if there's anything else. Let's take a look at the dollar, gold, and silver, as long as we have a little bit of time left here in this video. The dollar, again, is just kind of going sideways. You can see the initial pop. This is when the market's bottomed right here. That's when the dollar topped right there. Then the dollar, again, fell back, and that's when the markets rallied to the positive side. Nice positive divergence there as well. And then sideways consolidation. This is actually slightly bearish, but in all fairness, that does make sense. You even have a little bit of a head and shoulders here if you want to play a little bit of a stretch game by looking at that. All right, and again, there's your shoulder, head, and shoulder with a trend line right here. This is your neckline. So if this neckline broke, essentially that would be a nice little move down in the dollar. And I'll be watching this because again, I think the dollar's overbought. And I don't think anyone would disagree. The question is, can it go higher or not? And if we go to your daily chart, you can clearly see that you actually did top out at this upper trend line here. And I want to show you this. See this area right here? That's gap fill right there on the UUP, which is the dollar ETF. We actually came up and kissed that level today and then reversed off of it. That should be major resistance. Again, notice the extended move on the dollar. Dollar is due for a pullback. Remember, a pullback in the dollar would rally the markets as well. Something to keep an eye on. All right, let me just see what else we have here. Scanning through, let's take a look at gold, GLD. GLD has been a wild trade the last few days. Today, no different. Early sell-off here as the dollar was rallying, then a big spike back. Right now, the GLD is hovering just slightly negative on the day. SLV is hovering down 15 cents. You can see a wild trading day on that as well. And, of course, the USO, which always should be looked at here. The USO is starting to come back down. Had rallied back to the positive side at one point today when the markets, were at their highs and the dollar was at its lows. But since then, it's kind of come back in here. If you go to your daily chart, there's actually a ton of support down here on the oil chart. Take a look right at this, guys. You see a gap window here, gap fill right here. If we just draw a trend line across, I mean, you've basically kissed the gap fill right there. I'd be surprised if oil sees much more downside. I don't think it's getting down here. I think a lot of people think it might because they're panicking and they're fearful and they're amateurish. But I ultimately think that you'll get a bounce in the very near future on oil as well. Okay? So keep an eye on that. Let's go back and check out the SPY just before we head off here. And the SPY just down 31 cents on the day, kind of just hovering in this general vicinity, chopping around. Keep an eye on Facebook this afternoon, guys. I think it could be an interesting trade late in the day. Take care.